Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But when I tell you I'm tired, girl, today drained me. Girl, and my Marlo voice, girl, today drained me. I think I went outside like one time, and I went and got something to eat. And I think, girl, it was 102 degrees outside. I don't know what it is now. What's the temperature now? Let's see. Let's do a quick check. There's 100 degrees. I think that little 1 2 I did to go get a bite to eat. Girl, that sun just girl, that sun just told me up. I think I'm gonna drink some coffee after this because I still need to kind of crank out some videos. And I just don't have the energy. But nonetheless, we're here. We're gonna get through this, right? So let's just talk. I just feel like talking about the episode. Um what we gonna we'll start off with Manetta and Kenya. Okay. So Manetta goes to Kenya's room the next day. And they're having a little chit chat. Manetta is filling Kenya in on what happened the night before. Kenya lets us know that Candy was upset because they tried to make it seem as though she was a liar. Now, I do want to say this about Miss Candy. Candy girl! And my Kaya voice. You're my world. Girl, I do want to know this though, and I think it was someone either in my comment section or online. I think it was in my comment section. It was my comment section. Shout out to you who pointed out that Candy had a fit um, when Kenya, I guess, was on the girls' trip. Telling what was going on the girls' trip, what happens on the girls' trip stays on the girls' trip. But now, girl, she going around town, girl, trying to again clear her name and throw Drew under the bus and tell Drew business. But when Kenya was doing it to somebody who she didn't even like, girl, Candy had an issue with it. Remember she had an issue with what Kenya did. And now, girl, you turning around, girl, trying to let everybody know that, girl, Marla, I kissed a girl and I liked it. Drew, I mean, the taste of her cherry chapstick. I kissed a girl just to try it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it. It feels so right. It feels so wrong. What happened? It might begin tonight. Okay? Do y'all think that's the same thing? Or do y'all think that I think it's the same thing? I think that Candy has some nerve to go around here and get mad at Kenya, and then she turns around 2 years later and does the exact same thing that Kenya does, which is girl go around, girl trying to tell what Drew did or did not do. All right, let's move on. Marlo. I'm sorry. The feud between Marlo and Drew is a kiki to me. I love it. I think it's a cute little. I think it's a cute little one too. I do. I know some of y'all don't like Marlo, but Marlo is funny. I know for a fact. I'm 100% sure that I said some episodes ago that I wish Marlo would have come into this season still being messy like she was when she was a friend, right? Giving her storylines that pertain to her, niece, nephews, and her LaBay, and being funny in the confessionals. Because Marlo really is funny, girl. Marlo, girl, when Marlo said, if it's a 7 years, if what did she say? If you just got past your 7 year itch, then why you still scratching? Marlo said at least 5 or 6 things this episode that had me over here cackling. I was like, Marlo is stupid. Um. Anyways, Marlo. Marlo. So basically, this is what it comes down to me. You know how when the cameras go down, the cameras ain't really down. Okay. So the camera crew left. And they have done this before where someone will have their phone up and will be recording the conversations. I guess just in case something pop off, they could still use that footage. They've done this before. Like to me, it's a difference with what Manetta did versus not even. Well, we're gonna get to Marlo in a little bit, but because Marlo girl, like compared to Ashley Darby. Remember Ashley Darby when she recorded the conversation that was taking place between Candace and Robin, and Ashley had her phone on her lap, so nobody really knew she was recording. Right? Manetta had her phone sitting up against a goddamn Takabaka bottle, not Takabaka, a Tito's bottle, or a Hennessy, or 1800, one of them 1800 tequila bottles that I saw. Manetta had her phone sitting up, propped up, recording the room. Right? So what Manetta did wasn't necessarily wrong to me. She also said when they said turn the camera off, she turned it off. Marlo, on the other hand, was recording to send some information to Toya. You see what I'm saying? Manetta was probably recording just in case if something pop off, we can give this to the producers to use for the show. Candy been in the reality TV game a long time. She know how this works. Marlo know how this works. They all know how this works. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like again, Manetta was hiding her camera. Everybody knew the camera was on. And come to find out, they used some of that footage, right? Because now they're trying to paint this picture of Drew being a lesbian. Girl, I got something to say. Now I'm starting to wake up. You see, one thing I will say about it, two things for sure. The mess, when I start talking about some mess, I usually kind of perk up a little bit. You know what? Y'all I didn't have an issue with them mentioning Toya in this conversation, right? I didn't have an issue. But now I'm glad y'all can go eat crow. Y'all should go eat crow because I saw that Toya is gonna pop up on the scene next week, girl, with a gangster lean. Okay, so Toya coming back next week. I guess to clear her name on whether or not she kissed or did not kiss Drew. I think she kissed Drew. I do. Anyways, so Marlo, it is like kind of slimy and grimy. The girl, you would record someone who is supposed to be your friend and then send that video to another person. Like, I don't know what was the point of Marlo doing that. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't know if Drew, maybe the only way I could see her doing that is if Marlo came out and said that me and Latoya actually are cool and we hang out every week. And I don't really fool with Drew like that. Like that, we just made up. So if she came out and said that I'm actually a whole lot closer to Toya than I am Drew, and I didn't like what Drew was saying, so I sent Toya like, girl, look what this stuff is saying. Then I could wrap my head around that. But if she's not cool with Toya and you're building a friendship with Drew, then I don't see what the point would be of her, what would be of Marlo sending that tape to Drew. I mean to Toya. Drew girl. Anyways, um, Drew thinks that Candy is trying to warm her up to kiss a girl on TV on the movie. I will give Drew this. Drew said she didn't care if this affected her doing the movie. She didn't care, and if it affected her French, her and Candy, building a friendship, she didn't care about that either. So I said, okay, Miss Drew. Um, Marlo told Courtney to watch out for Drew. Okay, we can go ahead and get this out the way. Well, some of this out of the way. It did appear as if they were trying to either get Drew. It didn't come across as something. It came across as something that seemed shady. I really could, even though they had the words across the screen, I really couldn't make out what the conversation was about. But it felt like they were trying to like get Courtney on their side, I guess, to turn against Marla. I mean, to turn against Drew. I heard Sheree mention something about Drew telling a lie on or off camera, and then I think Marlo said what she said. So it did come across as girl what Mayetta said, like they were in collusion. Oh God! Oh wait! 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 It did. It did. It did. It seemed real, kind of like shady a little bit. Now, Mayetta went back and told Kenya this. Of course, we know how the game goes. Kenya gonna go back and tell Drew, but Mayetta went back and told Kenya. So I didn't really think that there was a thing, anything wrong with Mayetta did. Um, they go to a sound bath. Um, Marlo says that my grandmother wouldn't approve of this. Girl, you know. Anyways, she'll rather read the Bible, pray, and have a cocktail. I said, no, that's right. Um, so after the sound bath, they kind of went around and said what they were thinking about. And one of the things that stuck out was when Drew said that she felt like her family, her kids, her husband, her family wanted her to get home. And when Marlo said, "Drew Ralph is not waiting for you, waiting for you. He's in Vegas on the strip with that girl." Marlo was lucky turned Drew. I was like, "Hey, girl!" Marlo was lucky turned Drew up in the confession. Oh, girl, when I said I was giggling, girl, I said, girl, they are a mess. Um, Kenya. Oh, girl. Y'all know Kenya is my girl, but I've said this in previous videos, and some of you may be new to my channel. What's up? I just want y'all to stop having kids in the name of giving your other child or your other kids another sibling. Like the fact, not an opinion, the fact is there are plenty of siblings out there who can't stand each other, who don't talk, who don't fool with each other, and y'all have these kids in the hopes of, oh, they're going to love each other and get along, and that's just not the reality. And we know that to be the truth. And then you have these families like Teresa Judice and Joe Judice, or whatever, Joe Gorga over there on Real Housewives of New Jersey, who can't stand each other, but feel as though they're supposed to be around each other because that's what they've been taught their whole life. Family, 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 family. Bitch, what Terry said, girl, fuck the family fucked my husband. So it's like, girl, at some point we have to realize that if you want to have kids, girl, just have kids. But don't put having kids on the backs of your other kids or your child, because again, that's a possibility that, girl, your kid has your you bring a child into this world and they don't even get along. And then y'all talking about, then the parents are going to be screaming, y'all brothers, y'all need to get along. Y'all sisters and brothers, y'all need to get along. Y'all family. Well, girl, I don't have no say so in this. Girl, did nobody tell you to go out here and have all these kids for the sake of, girl, talking about, girl, you don't want your kids to grow up alone? Sometimes that's probably what's best. So if Kenya wants to have a child, girl, just have a child, but don't bring Brooklyn into it. There's a chance that if you have a child, Brooklyn and her brother or sister could grow up and can't stand and can't stand to even be in the sight of each other. So again, we're not gonna sit here and act like we don't hear stories or know people who are estranged from their brothers and sisters. Whether even if it's not a hate, I hate my sister or I hate my brother, girl, we just don't talk. We just don't communicate. It never just really clicked. So, anyways, um, Mayetta says that when there are no cameras around, basically that's when the real comes out. And she basically it wasn't until this episode where I was like, I want Mayetta to come back next season. I think Mayetta could be a great friend of the show. I do. I really do. And I think I was happy that when Candy left, Kenya still had Mayetta. Because the truth is, if Mayetta wasn't there, Kenya would be on an island by herself. Drew, you never know. Then you got Sheree, which she swore but now her and Sheree are cool, but Sheree don't act like it on the show. So you got Sheree against her, you got Marlo, you got Sonya, you got Court. You see what I'm saying? So at least with Mayetta, she has a friend. Now that since Candy wasn't there this episode. But yeah, once I saw how Mayetta was kind of like getting, in the mess this episode, I was like, okay, Mayetta seemed like she cool. Because last season I was like, if Mayetta come back, she come back. If she don't, she don't. I do want Mayetta to come back next season. She basically says that girl, they're fake. She pretty much called them fake. They're not authentic when the cameras are around. When the cameras go down, that's when they start to show who they really are. I said, y'all putting on stunts and shows. Marlo and Drew get into it. I understood why Drew was upset. I did. Because the truth of the matter is, if we're supposed to be friends, girl, why are you recording me talking and then sending it to somebody else? Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, can you imagine, like, you having a friend, excuse me, and then your friend recording you or recording a conversation being had in the room, and then them sending that part of the conversation to the person that y'all were talking about? Girl, what? Girl, what is you doing? It's kind of like when y'all tag. It's kind of like when we talking about people, and then y'all tag. Like if we talking about girl Kenya, I'm just gonna throw some name up. We talking about Kenya on Twitter or on Instagram, and y'all tag the person. Ooh, that be making me so mad. Ooh, I be so mad when y'all do that. Ooh, I be so mad, girl. Ooh, I be so mad when y'all do that. Girl, when I tell you, that gets me. I be wanting to fuck the shit out of you. I got mad. Oh, girl, calm down. I got mad, girl. Oh, God, I got mad, girl. I done had a flashback of one time when one of y'all did that. I got so pissed off. Girl, we over here trying to kiki and laugh and talk about people and you tagging bitches. All right, bring it on. I'm just playing. Okay, y'all. But no, I'm not playing about what I said. Okay, I'm just like playing, but I'm not playing. I was serious about what I said, though. All right. So what else? Kenya and Drew and Marlo get into it. Drew low key. Well, to me, Drew was low key handling Marlo. She was now. She was saying some of the same stuff that we've heard. So it's kind of like, oh girl, okay, about the whole get your record expunged. Now I did Google when Drew said, worry about those dead hair follicles. Girl, when Drew told her to worry about those dead hair follicles. Hey, girl, the girls is going out of this episode like it was. Oh, child. Oh, girl. So Kenya brings up, they're at dinner at this point also. Kenya brings up, they're at dinner. No, it was after the sound bath. Well, I guess they were, was it dinner or lunch? I don't know, child. I think they went out again after that. I guess it was lunch. Anyways, so they're eating. That's the moral of the story. And Kenya basically asked Courtney, is there anything that she needs to say? Basically, like, is there anything you need to tell Drew? Because the people say, now I will say, Kenya, you were not there. So the person that should have really been doing the talking should have been Manetta. But I also believe that Kenya can trust what you know how like some people you can't trust when they bring you back information, you gotta like sit there and think about it because girl, the bitch might add something, girl, to the story, take something out, use words that wasn't used because girl, words are very important, okay? Right. Um, use words that were not really there to describe, they didn't use. And I feel like Kenya may feel like she can trust Manetta in what she says. And it sounds like everything Manetta said to Kenya, the stuff that Kenya said was the stuff that Manetta told her. But nonetheless, it still doesn't take away that the fact of the matter is, Kenya, you really wasn't there. But it does. But on the flip side, it doesn't matter if what she's saying is exactly what Manetta told her, and exactly what she said that she said y'all did. Now y'all might not like the word conclusion, collusion, um, but it kind of seemed like that's what y'all were doing in a way. And then for Courtney to sit there and, but see, this is the thing though. I have low key been side eyeing Courtney and Drew because the truth of the matter is, we're going to call a thing, y'all. This is what happened between Drew and Courtney. Courtney came onto the show. Ralph and Courtney said they was cousins. And then all of a sudden, Drew and Courtney started calling each other family and cousin. That's my family. That's my cousin. Girl, y'all don't even know each other in real life. Girl. And quiet as it's kept, we don't even fucking know if Ralph and Courtney are real cousins. We just, as far as I'm concerned, that's some shit they made up on the spot. And they already showed a clip. They showed us. I didn't even notice until I saw it floating around the internet. Remember when I think Ralph, it was no Courtney and Bryce that came over, and the way that Courtney hugged Ralph was real. Like it wasn't a cousin hug. I think she like caressed his, like she was like caressing his, like either his back, his arm, or something. I was like, girl, that I had to be like, even I was like, that's not giving. Why are you caressing your cousin like that? Okay, girl. Um, but anyways, girl. But yeah, it just seemed real. It just seemed real kind of iffy. Um, oh, and Courtney says she has nothing to say. Basically, she can hear all sides. I thought it was funny when they were talking about the word, and Mayetta was like, "I apologize if the word, basically apologize for using that word." Okay, great. Okay. I apologize. Are you happy now? Okay, okay, great. Yeah, yeah, me too. Okay. And then Courtney was like, "Okay," and then Mayetta was like, "Okay, okay, oh God. What else? I thought it was so cute. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I thought it was so cute. I did say we're not going in no particular order. I thought it was so cute the conversation that Kenya and Brooklyn had. Like I literally watched that probably about 10 times. I thought it was so cute. Kenya called. That's why I'm like, you can have conversations with your children and it be age appropriate. Kenya calls Brooklyn and tells Brooklyn basically that she's ready to. So Brooklyn didn't go on. Girl, I'm surprised, girl. Brooklyn didn't go on this trip, or was Brooklyn in a different hotel? Girl on a different floor. Girl, because as far as I'm concerned, Brooklyn was probably on the 16th floor and Kenya was on the 17th. Okay. Um, But it sounded like the way the conversation was, it sounded like she wasn't there. But she was telling Brooklyn she was ready to come home, and that she had some friends that were not saying nice things to her. And I thought it was so cute when Brooklyn was like, "Oh, what?" No, she's like, "Okay, what?" She was like, "I love you so much." It was so cute. And then she was like, "Mwah." It was so cute. Um, Drew lets us know that she's still in counseling, but Ralph isn't. I think that's horrible. I'm sorry. I think it's horrible because if if I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm trying to better myself and become a better person for myself, and even if I want to become a better person for you and my kids, right? Because becoming a better person, that means not only should you be doing it for yourself, but it's also something that it could benefit other people too, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, girl, you working on your ways. If you have ways you need to work on, but like, it's almost like, I hate to say it, but like, what's oh, excuse me. Thank you so much. I know somebody just said bless you. Thank y'all so much. But what's the point of like working on yourself to become this better version of yourself if the nigga who you laying down with, he's still gonna be the same nigga? You see, like, what's the point? Like, I'm still going to therapy, working on my issues, right? Dealing with childhood trauma if I have childhood trauma, or dealing with whatever issues that I may have as an adult, right? That don't necessarily stem from childhood trauma, but shit I just need to work on, right? So I'm going to therapy to deal with whatever issues that I may have, and then nigga, you at the house. So I'm putting in the work to become this this person, and you're not. But they getting a divorce. So um I thought it was funny when Kenya tried to steal. So Kenya ordered a espresso martini. She didn't like it, and so she tried to steal Sonya's drink. And the gag was Kenya was dead ass. Like I said, bitch. Like when like you might be like, oh, I'm gonna steal this bitch drink. But Kenya literally like tried to steal her drink, and girl tried to act like she wasn't trying to steal a drink until it was mentioned that it was her drink. She was like, oh, this your drink. Okay, this your drink. Okay, come talk. Yeah, like if she wouldn't have said nothing, she would have been gulping that drink down. Hello. Um, Marlo says something about karma is a bitch. And they've been saying, I guess that's like the running thing, you know. One thing, I want to give a shout out to Erica De Niro TV. One thing I learned from her is that I never knew. I think a lot of us are taught. I think like probably like a lot of us. I was gonna say like 98% of us, but a lot of us were taught that there is a such thing as good karma. I never knew that until like a few years ago. I remember her mentioning it in one of her videos. That's a good thing, but we all think that karma is like bad when it really is a such thing as good karma. But when we use the word, we use it in like it's bad, never like it's good. Um, I remember, I think I was looking at one of her videos. Oh, was she online? I can't remember, girl. I don't know, child. And she had mentioned something about like Brooklyn being Kenya's karma, and somebody was like, "How dare you say?" And I'm like, "Girl, let's look it up. Hold on. How dare you say that she's her karma?" Here we go. Yeah, karma can be divided into good and bad karma. Good karma is a result of good deeds done for others, while bad karma results from intentional harm caused to others. So it's good karma and bad karma, but I think a lot of us only knew about bad karma. And so whenever we say karma, I think that's the first thing that pops into people's head, not realizing that, girl, there is a such thing as good karma. But they have this thing on the show that Kenya is, Kenya's. This is the thing. I'm gonna give Courtney this much. You don't have to treat me a certain way for me to realize that you may be an asshole, right? So I'm gonna give Courtney that what I just said. Kenya hasn't done anything to Courtney for Courtney to feel the way that she feels. Now, it's one thing if Courtney felt like, girl, I'm just kind of moving just to see how we click. I really don't know. And, I've seen how you kind of interacted with some of the other ladies and it kind of puts me at a standstill. Like, if she came at it that way, then I could understand it, right? Like, I've seen you kind of blow off on so and so. I've seen you kind of go off on so and so. So I'm just trying to make sure that I just want to know who you are, something like that. But the way Courtney comes into it is like, girl, Kenya, girl, you've watched the show, and you think that Kenya is going to give you what she was giving the girls seasons ago, and Kenya isn't really giving you that. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that Kenya too much cares for Courtney. That's why it's kind of like, I'm not worried about that girl. But I don't think that in her not interacting with Courtney, she's being. I don't think she's being a mean girl. I just think she don't fool with you. Yeah, that's really it. Um, I'll say, I was happy, even though I didn't think that Courtney was eating Kenya up. I like the fact that Courtney wasn't backing down from Kenya. Kenya and Courtney had a little tussle at the table. I was like, okay, Miss Courtney, okay. And sometimes she was really just repeating the stuff that Kenya said. Um, but I still like that Courtney wasn't backing down from Miss Kenya some more. Girl, if you gonna argue, girl, argue. Girl, if you gonna argue, girl. Um, yeah, the karma is a bitch stuff. Some people really didn't like that Courtney said that. I'm gonna be honest, it didn't bother me. I think Sonya felt bothered by the word. Like even some of I saw viewers upset about Courtney saying that was Kenya's karma, and even Drew didn't like that Courtney had said that. I think Sonya didn't think that was cool. Some of they didn't think that was cool. I was like, oh, okay, but I didn't really get work. It didn't really move me. I was like, oh, girl. Um, okay, girl. Let's just talk about it. Ralph texts Marlo. Listen, I don't think that Marlo said anything. Uh, they didn't show. Now, I don't know what she said. They didn't show Marlo saying anything that came across as disrespectful to me. So I didn't understand why Ralph was so worked up to the point where he felt the need to send Marlo a text message. I don't know if it was the way that it was delivered to Ralph from Drew, or if Marlo really said something and they just didn't show it. But Marlo really did. She mentioned Ralph like working in technology because when her and Drew were going back and forth, Drew said something about her career, and then she was like, "I do the same thing that your husband does, technology." Now, I will say this much. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it as I talk. Oh, I'm thinking about it. I think what it is because I just thought about Sheree said in her confessional that what does Ralph do? So maybe Marlo was taking a dig at Ralph by saying doesn't he work in the top? Like what does the nigga do? That's what I'm guessing. I don't know, girl. All I'm gonna say is this, guy. I don't think that Marlo said nothing that was disrespectful. I really don't. Not to the point where, girl, no, girl, what Marlo saying what she said last year in Jamaica about Todd. Hello, now that okay. I don't have an issue. I don't. I don't have an issue with men and women in confrontation. I did not have an issue with Todd addressing Marlo last year because I felt that Todd was right there when Marlo was being disrespectful. Now, Marlo was being disrespectful then. Todd, as a grown ass man, Marlo, as a grown ass woman, why can't Todd address Marlo when Marlo is talking about him right to his face? I don't buy into a man and a woman can't confront each other. But I also understand why people say you shouldn't because we know that these men are sensitive and girl, they will punch you in your face because they think you done got slicked by the mouth. So when you look at it through that lens, I do understand why some people don't like for men and women to get in confrontation because these men are emotional as fuck and they will knock your ass on the ground, right? But for those of us men who girl can control our temper, girl, I don't have no issue going back and forth with no woman because I'm not gonna hit you. We can say you can say what you gotta say. I can say what I gotta say, girl. We can go have a cocktail afterwards. Okay. This whole Marlo stuff about I'm not gonna text him back because he's a man. Bitch, please. Girl, let me say something. I don't give a damn if it's a woman, a child, a non-binary, non-gender conforming. You don't know what the fuck you are. Bitch, if you text my phone, I'm texting your ass right on back. Especially if I think you're trying to be slick. Okay? Ralph was trying to be slick. So I'm gonna be slick right on back. And then I'm gonna read, then I'm gonna sit up in the middle of the group and tell everybody what the fuck was just said. Okay? But Marlo likes to pull that. Marlo is one of those people that likes to pull the I don't like a man, blah, 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 even though last year she was disrespectful. But then she'll turn around and be like, a man ain't posted, but girl, girl, y'all, girl. If y'all think, let me shut up. I don't understand, and this is where if y'all want to swear up and down that Ralph was not disrespectful to Kenya and Sheree last year, but then turn around and say that Drew was disrespectful to Ralph, because some of y'all swore up and down that what Ross did last year when he cursed out Sheree and Kenya, knowing damn well they were not disrespecting Sonya. He stood up and cursed them out. Y'all said that wasn't disrespectful, knowing damn well that if your man was right there and another man stood up and cussed y'all asses out, it would be some furniture moving. So if y'all didn't think that was disrespectful, then you cannot think that what Marlo did at that table was disrespectful. Hello? Hello, somebody. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, they all got up. It was cute how they ended. They all got up and danced and did the cuff it dance. It was really, really cute. It's moments like that where I feel like the show needs more moments like them, like drinking and dancing and just having a good time. But yeah, I didn't really think that Marlo had said anything disrespectful. I really didn't. Maybe she was trying to be slick by the mouth, and maybe Drew caught it because the truth of the matter is we don't know what the fuck Ralph do. Okay. Um, and then she went home and told Ralph, and Ralph got pissed off. But based off what I saw, I didn't see anything. But Marlo should have texted Ralph right on back. He texts your phone. The fuck? Ralph don't give a damn about you being no woman, so why you give a damn about him being a man? Girl, you grown. Marlo, you 50 years old. How old is Ralph? Ralph probably what in his 30s? Girl, you don't text that nigga back and tell him to set the fuck off your phone. Okay? Because I ain't saying shit about you, but I can. I ain't saying nothing disrespectful, but you done seen my mouth and how it works. We can go there if you need, if you want to. You ain't seen disrespectful from me to you, but you have seen me be disrespectful to other people, and you know how this math works. Okay, so I suggest you don't text my motherfucking phone no more. Now that was that would have really would have got the party started. No, but honestly, Marlo even had to say all that. Marlo could have just texted him back. Like, I don't know what your wife told you. I didn't say anything that was disrespectful. Yes, maybe. I will say this much. Maybe Marlo shouldn't have mentioned his name at all, right? Okay, maybe Marlo shouldn't have mentioned his name at all. But even with Marlo mentioning his name and saying, "I do the same thing your husband does," I still didn't think it was to the point where Drew needed to go home and tell Ralph that Marlo really ain't saying nothing. Not enough for you to go home and report. You know. Anyway, Shell, I'm done. This review was way too long. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.